Aunque nos sorprenda, la gente aún cuenta este bello puente como una de las 7 maravillas modernas del mundo. El puente Golden Gate. Un poco oxidado ahora y con más de medio siglo de edad, pero aún parece que lo consideran el mejor. Lo consideran simplemente maravilloso. Simplemente lo mejor.
How on earth was it, though, that a pagan god came to stand as the very image of Christ? Well, for one thing, the Olympian Zeus in Lausus Palace was a very wonderful thing in its own right. And for another, that same statue had already stood as an image of supreme divinity for almost 1,000 years. The Byzantines had a story which tried to explain the use of this terrible pagan image in their church. It went like this. What they said was that in the earliest days of the church, a pagan commissioned a Christian artist to paint a picture of Christ as though he was Zeus. And in consequence of this terrible blasphemy, God withered the man's arm and his hand. But the touch of a passing saint, the man was healed, just as Jesus himself had healed another man with a withered arm. You know, what I think that story is saying is that the saints themselves have sanctioned the use of one of the 7 wonders in the very halls of the Christian church. The god of wine, Aphrodite, the goddess of love, will both dissolve your limbs, the ancient poet says, as will their only child, the gout. You know, lying here in this lovely old Turkish bath is actually a direct descendant of Greek and Roman baths. I can't help thinking how everybody else looks nothing like a Greek sculpture. And yet, you know, that idea of Greek sculptures and Roman sculptures representing somehow the ideal of physical beauty is still in us today. It's a long way from the truth, of course. You know, a little while ago there was a research project that measured thousands of Italian and Greek airmen. And they measured them against classical statues, and guess what? They were nothing like the same at all. And again, if you're in Mediterranean lands and you see women who've worked in fields all their lives, they look more like Roseanne than they do like Madonna. And yet this idea in us that somehow there's this classical figure trying to get out is still very strong. Hence aerobics and slimming and all the rest of it. Where on earth then did this amazing ideal of classical beauty come from, and why is it still with us?
La breve respuesta, por supuesto, es la escultura griega. Sus imágenes aún están vivas en nosotros. Escultores como Fidias fijaron la imagen corporal básica con estatuas como el Zeus. Aunque en los siglos que siguieron, la escultura se volvió más animada, lo que muchos occidentales llamarían más natural. Las esculturas de mujeres tomaron la apariencia que aún se considera sexy. Y los hombres pasaron a una acción más viva. Franqueando la entrada de un puerto, el legendario Coloso, la otra estatua de las 7 maravillas del mundo, se convirtió en una famosa imagen de este nuevo tipo de escultura. Sobre todo, esta fue una imagen creada por artistas que trabajaron en retratos de un solo hombre, Alejandro el Grande.
Look at that wrinkle on Alexander's forehead. It's quite real, isn't it? Like he just furrowed his brow. The hair, too, looks like there's wind blowing through it. It's all rough. like real hair, I think. Like this cheek too. Get down here and really look at it. You can see the sculpture's actually made 4 different movements across the face. One for the cheekbone, one for the nose, one for the mouth, another for the chin. He's really interested in skin, this guy. He's interested in skin stretching over the muscle. You get the feeling that if a fly settled on this marble, it would twitch. Alexander changed history. That's why this new type of sculpture is so appropriate. He changed history when he marched from Macedonia to India. He actually put human affairs at the front. There was a time when you could say that was before Alexander's conquest and after. Alexander had become a man of destiny in time. A man of destiny, of course, is an image. It's not a copy of flesh and bone. Just as Hitler had Leni Riefenstahl, just as Garbo had Hollywood, so Alexander has his image maker. He had a sculptor, a court sculptor called Lysippus, and he invented the first image of man as hero. Did a lot for Alexander. One thing he did was to get the gentle curves of Greek sculpture and really throw them about. You can see his torso going down, legs go across. It's a real man of vim and vigour here. I mean, this muscle, which shows that Alexander was a pretty powerful javelin thrower, has been accentuated so it clamps down on the thigh. But the biggest thing he did was to decrease the traditional size of the Greek head. That normally fitted into the body by about 7 or 8 to 1. Lysippus made it 10 to 1. Alexander's head got smaller. He ended up looking more like an American football player or Schwarzenegger or something. Lysippus really did a number on the face, though. And he's made us a modern hero. I mean, this guy could go straight into the movies, couldn't he? It's a very strange story about how this particular look came about, because the real Alexander was truly long-haired, it seems, but rather short and a little deaf. So when he was surrounded by his courtiers, his typical pose was of actually slightly straining to hear what was going on above him. What Lysippus did, the classic icon maker, was to turn these defects into heroic poses. So the slight craning, the twist, was turned into a pose as if he was directing armies. And of course that has caused the mouth to curl slightly and open a little. What Lysippus made for us here is really the first image of a star. Bits of this will survive in every star's picture, from Byron to Brando to the dying James Dean.
¿Qué movía a estos artistas cuando hicieron las primeras imágenes de los héroes modernos? Cuando mostraban a Alejandro peleando, cabalgando, cazando. Cuando esculpían el coloso de Rodas, el cual, después de todo, fue hecho por un alumno de Lisipo, y fue nada menos que un anuncio de 33 metros del hombre nuevo. Vayan a las ciudades orientales construidas por los generales y sucesores de Alejandro en la edad helenista, y entrarán al mundo de las 7 maravillas. Caminen por estas mismas grandes ciudades y caminarán por la mente de la primera gente moderna.
I'm strolling up the high road to Pergamum, one of the grandest cities of the Hellenistic East. These cities were completely incredible. Amongst other treasures, they had examples of all the 7 wonders in them, from colossal statues to the founder's tomb. Pergamum, uniquely perhaps, lacked a lighthouse. Didn't need one, of course. It was nowhere near the sea. It had its own technological wonder, though. That was a 33-mile-long system of pipes that brought ice from the top of a mountain to the heart of the city. It's a real technological wonder. This here is just a part of the outline. This is really a river they've diverted. And look, there's the name of the potter, still on the pipe. Now, this Hellenism, this age of Hellenism, people usually don't regard it very highly, even